We just left Pinedale. Peppa had to stay to go to Jackson to get new shoes. So it's just Clover and I now. We're gonna have an arduous next few days, I think, because we're on a deadline to get into Yellowstone on time, which will be after Dubios. But today's the Knapsack, which we've heard really good things about. Should be really interesting. Got some pack llamas up here. I haven't seen that on this trail yet. Why didn't we start with one of those?
I wish, dude.
Yeah. This one's got an appetite like me. Gotta stop every 10 seconds and get a little crunch. Pinedale's a pretty interesting town on this trail because it's one of the few that doesn't have any direct access points to it, so you have to take a side trail to it, which means on the way in and on the way out you end up passing people who are a day or two ahead or behind you, which allows, you know, messages to spread pretty quickly. And somebody just told us that Jersey now has fallen ill of a stomach bug, and that would add him to the list along with another guy named Nona that I heard of recently, and another couple people through the grapevine, which makes me feel like it's a high probability it's the same thing I got a month ago and a few other people I know have gotten. So there's like a maybe kind of officially some sort of viral outbreak going on now. I'm not saying anybody should do this, but it reminds me of when I was on the AT. The CDC sent officials out to do contact tracing because there was a norovirus outbreak, and this feels eerily similar to that. But yeah, it's just because everybody's, you know, it's hard to stay clean out here, and this must be really contagious because a lot of these people have barely had any contact with one another at all. Or I guess you could be, you know, leaving some viral matter at water sources or something. Starting to get some views of the Knapsack, which we'll be spending the rest of the day walking up into. Lots of people around, but it's obvious why. This is a gorgeous spot. This is Island Lake. We're gonna have to cross over to this area later today. I just cannot get this on video because it's all encompassing, it's just surrounding. But this is maybe the most beautiful place I've seen on any of the Triple Crown trails. Knapsack Col is just utterly spectacular, really. The cirque was beautiful, but this is something else. So there's a pretty big glacier and 2,000-foot rock scramble we're gonna have to go over to get over this pass. It's all off trail, and it's after 6 p.m. and there's people here getting close to the end of this valley, and everybody keeps looking at me strangely, and I can tell they're wondering, is he gonna fucking try to go over that right now? Yes, we are. Kind of seems ridiculous, but we're on a timetable, so we got headlamps. I don't think we'll have to use them, but it is pretty late. Sometimes that's the way it is. To be clear, what I'm talking about is kind of going through that sunny area around the left of this big mountain up into those glaciers up there. So I'm once again finding myself at the dilemma. Oliver said he can make it up here on time before the sun will set, but I cannot find him. He's nowhere to be seen. Waited for a while, looking down the valley, I don't see him anywhere. The rockfall danger from all these cliffs and stuff around here is pretty bad, and I don't think it's a good idea to sleep here. So I have to make a decision whether to leave him or turn around in the next like 15 minutes, which is really not optimal. I have a little over an hour to get either over this pass up here or turn around and go back down this valley that I came from, camp somewhere, because this is just not a good spot. It's about 7 p.m. and it's about the cutoff time I set in my head for when I would either turn around or go up the mountain. I don't really have a whole lot of food, and I got 75 miles to go to Dubios, so that's really unfortunate. That means I'm gonna have to pull some really huge days in the coming days because of this. But the trail has provided, as they say. Just as I thought there would be nowhere to camp up here, I found quite possibly the most incredible campsite I've ever seen in my life. There's the pass I need to go in the morning. I'm just surrounded on all sides by these 1,000-foot peaks all around, and you see all the way down the valley. But right here, somebody put a ton of effort into making a giant wind block. Like I said, I've never seen a campsite quite this nice. It's really incredible. And of course, right as I start to set up my tent, I'm pretty sure clover's starting to show up. Here it is with just my tent set up in it before clover shows up. I had to resituate to try to make room for two, but still, what an incredible spot. And now after clover's addition, it's a tight squeeze, but it's not terrible. We'll make it work. Got a little bit of a late morning, but what can you do? The weather was really bad, and we don't really want to go over that pass until it's not. It's looking a little better now. Got a train of us coming up here now. There hasn't been that many difficulties in this area, actually. The boulders aren't that big yet or anything, but it is just kind of a slog walking straight uphill for whatever duration this is. Pretty close up here, starting to get a lay of the land, and I can see how this is going to be kind of sketchy. We're going to have to follow this boulder field to the right here, up through some of this, and then somehow stay on the wall until we can get over this saddle, but it looks very steep. Clover has decided he's gonna become an ice climber now.
I feel like once you get up to like the top of the snow, you should be safe to cut back.
This is about the time that I'm gonna officially acknowledge that I'm glad I got new shoes in Pinedale. Otherwise, this would have been nearly impossible. This is one of the roughest climbs on the whole trail so far. That's a Wrong Way in Shadow actually too, who we haven't seen since the San Juans. The Knife's Edge on the red line, ironically enough, which was also pretty sketchy. Huh. Last place we saw them. Who'd have thought?
How about that?
Yeah, this is the next place we'd see them.
Here we are at Knapsack Col. Nobody knows what the fuck a coal is. If you do, drop it in the comments because I've been confused all day.
And he also doesn't want to use the internet because his IP address is being tracked by the NSA for the multiple crimes he's committed in different countries.
Yeah, why do you think I'm out here?
This is quite a view though. Looks really easy to traverse around this terrain that we're about to walk into also. I gotta say.
It just looks like you're about to walk off a fucking cliff.
I am.
Yeah. Oh, I so love that.
Nothing looks that bad.
Yes, as reported, the west side of Knapsack Col is easy and straightforward.
We're eventually dropping out of that creek, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna do all this bullshit.
Yeah, we're just gonna work our way generally towards this set of water bodies. This is a pretty cool feature actually. The little mini valley we're in up here has flattened out into a little corridor that frames the rest of the valley as it descends and pours off there. Hey, somebody's very expensive device, actually. That's an interesting find. Well, $700 for me. It's got 74% battery. Do you think we could order a pizza with this?
Like, airdrop it in. Oh, I mean, it is a campground. You could be like, hey, meet me at this campground. Go make pizza.
Yeah, hey, that's a good idea.
That I have the responsibility of somebody else's personal locator device. We just have to figure out what the most efficient way to extort them is. In all honesty, it's probably just going to end up being a giant pain in the ass for me having to meet somebody somewhere out of my way or mail it or something. But one can hope, right? All these wildflowers around here and everything too. Just a really, really pretty environment. If I haven't said it before, which I probably have 4 times, I think I've got enough data here to make a final assessment I think the Knapsack Col is the most impressive place on the CDT corridor so far. I don't think I have a doubt in my mind anymore. The circle's cool, but this made it look like a Walmart parking lot. This is just an incredible spot. I will be coming back here. Just gonna drop down a little basin into another set of lakes. You know what this looks like is the scene in Lord of the Rings where they're coming down those rivers and there's the two giant statues at the mouth, like that feature up there. Yeah, it does look like an eagle. There's the rest of them coming right behind us. There are just so many wildflowers in bloom right now too. All of these ravines just filled with them. Apparently we're supposed to follow the right side of this lake. Don't really see much trail. I think people disagree about whether the Circuit of the Towers or the Knapsack Col are better in the winds, but I think this is objectively more impressive, but way more difficult to travel through. And I can see how that could sour some people.
One shoe.
Clover made a good point a little while ago and said this is the last time we'll be at this altitude. We're about like 10,000 feet right now. I think the trail doesn't get this high again all the way to Canada, which will make hiking a bit easier. We thought this looks like it's going to be a nightmare to descend, but this is the best trail conditions we've seen all day. It's just going to continue like this through these rocks, it looks like. I definitely spoke too soon about that trail quality thing, because we're in the middle of figuring it out, which isn't exactly smooth. Reenacting another scene from Lord of the Rings here. We got into the rocks in the giant spider's lair because there are hundreds of these spiders covering everything here. We're almost out of it though. And another example of how the CDT's always got something that's difficult. Never been 1,000 feet above tree line and gotten enveloped in like a spider forest. Cannot show it on those videos, but every single gap between every rock had one of those spiders building a web in it. Very, very annoying. We've made it back to the red line, the actual CDT now. It's going to be basically flattish downhill for the next 17 miles, which is great. Totally different environment too. We're just in this calm little forest. Let's start looking for bear, because this is the area that we've heard people start seeing grizzlies here and on. So yeah, this should be interesting. I didn't notice it until actually looking back at the map, and I wish I would have at the time, but the creek and all the streams coming from the lakes up there by Knapsack Col, that was the headwaters of the Green River, which is the same river that we all canoed down for 8 days to wait out the snow earlier this year. Would have been cool to see at the time. For what it's worth, we are still on the Green River and will be for a while. I'm actually laughing about this now. I remember us having a kind of inside joke while we were on our canoe trip, talking about how dumb the name the Green River was, considering it was so like chocolatey brown. You just like get it caked on your skin whenever you were dry. Like, why would they name this the Green River? But up here, near the headwaters, it is strikingly green. It's like turquoise colored. It might not come out in the video, but it's strikingly green. So the name does make sense. And the whole way down this trail is just incredible campsite after incredible campsite. Wyoming has punched above its weight in a lot of ways so far. Looking back at these mountains, and it feels like we've been walking from them for forever. These guys back here are about 10.5 miles away. This has been since mid-afternoon. You can see them basically the entire time. I've set up here in this saddle. I think Clover's gonna show up after dark, but it was about 29 miles a day. Just gonna enjoy dinner and probably do about the same tomorrow. I think it's gonna be a bit easier though. We got slowed down a lot on the Knapsack Col in the morning. It should be smooth trail from here to Dubios, I think.